Absolutely. So, would you go back? I mean, the career path. I mean, this isn't really your. I mean, how intentional was it? How intentional was it? And I mean, are you at where you wanted to be? How was it different?
I can throw in 5 seconds. She, you, weren't you working at a daycare in like 1988, 89, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So what was so what was
It was in her head.
what were you? So that was in your head. Was education and service minded? Was it what that was kind of your path?
Well, you got to remember, I was a lifeguard throughout high school. I
I remember
taught,
that. Yeah.
so I taught swimming lessons I started like everybody else, like 15. I was working and I was teaching swimming lessons. So it became part of second nature to me to teach.
Yeah.
So I went and I worked at a preschool, and just progressed from them, became a supervisor, a manager and stuff. And then, and just went from there and tried to get everything for my teaching credential. So
Yeah.
it was, it was something in my mind. Now I'd like to go back to school and be an attorney. That is what I would like to do. I
Yeah.
started to do that when I graduated high school. I was teaching to go to school to be a lawyer, and I went for a year, but I got married and that changed it.
Yeah.
Do you think that
So,
comes from your brother's an attorney, right?
yeah, my brother's an attorney.
Skip.
Does it
Yep.
come from being around him, or did you have more interest beforehand, do you think?
I started before him. I started in it, the interest in it before him.
So that's got to make you feel good, though, that he's taken that and he's made a good career, and
Oh,
you've been
yeah.
able to kind of
And that's,
enjoy some of
yeah,
that.
I'm real proud of him and what he's done, and that he actually went into the field, and he's done real well. And um he has, grandfathered me in by, when I was done with teaching in 2008, he had opened up his own private firm, and I
Yeah.
went to work for him there. And then, now he does just nothing but criminal law, and he did other
Oh
things
yeah.
before. And
You took care of my
one of
bankruptcy.
yeah, he did. One of the
You're a fantastic criminal lawyer.
You needed a
I
fantastic
literally
criminal
just
lawyer.
I literally kept him on retainer.
Yeah.
It saved me so much.
Yeah.
It was
but one of the things I did for my brother, and I do every once in a while now, is I go to the jails and visit his clients.
Ah. Okay.
It's,
That's
oh
cool.
my gosh, you want to get some stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, I would go in there and I'd go over their discovery, all the evidence that the courts have against them, and I would review that with them.
Okay.
And if they had questions that they wanted to talk to my brother about and stuff, they would talk with me, and then I would take it back, and I'd go back and forth between the jails and
That's cool.
the office.
Yeah.
And it allows you to be involved in the whole situation too.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
awesome.
It's a fun thing, but it also, the clients are getting more one-on-one contact because there is a second person coming in and out. Not saying my brother doesn't go and visit the clients, because he does. It's
Yeah.
just, it was one more link into the firm that
Right. And
makes
it's
it a
only so
stronger
much
firm.
time too. I mean, there's only so much time. Having two people to be able to, excuse me, I gotta get some ice. I'm out of
Oh, no problem.
I like my whiskey cold.
So, that's just a quick brief, just to tie a bow on parenting and that kind of stuff. I mean, you're obviously proud of your kids. They're moving along. You know, I mean, and specifically talking about the difference between how you were parented and how you approach parenting. That's a key point that I wanted to hit on, because it's been a running theme with all of us. It's like, you know, what did we take from our parents, and how did it stay the same, and how did it differ, and that kind of story.
Yeah, I could say that I was a disciplinarian. I did some of the stuff my parents did, but on the same sense, I did a few things different. I tried to be home as much as I could,
Yeah.
go to their sporting events, be real involved in stuff that my parents didn't have the opportunity to do.
Yeah. You said opportunity. That's very careful
Yeah,
wording.
they didn't, because my swim meets were after school. My mom was at work, you
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah.
she couldn't make it. It wasn't necessarily that she didn't want to; she just couldn't. Football games, she didn't want to be there with all the screaming kids when I did flags,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. And then I had a special needs brother. I mean, there was reasons that they didn't make to my events or my brother's events and stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't have those same challenges that they did. So I
Yeah.
did go and was on the board for soccer and did all, got
Yeah.
into all that with them.
Yeah. That's pretty
Uh,
common. I think back. Yeah. I don't think I felt it as well. I guess there was times when I felt it. Like I really was really proud of my work. What I was doing with soccer and football in high school, and then not having anybody show up for you. I
yeah,
think that there was a couple times like where you feel it and you kind of wanted it, but then you just kind of wipe it out. Because I look up at the stands and no one's parents were around. I was
right. There
done
was
with.
very few. There
Yeah,
was very
it
few.
was common, and I think that's why it's a common experience. I can think back and you go, oh, but when comparing it to now, I can go. I remember going to see my son's practices, or I was even coaching or whatnot, and it was constantly parents all around. I was as much coaching the parents as I was the kids.
It's so true because that's how it was with my girls in soccer. I mean, there was always parents sitting there while we were doing practices, and then the sidelines were packed during the
Yeah,
games. And so it wasn't the same with us. But I think it
yeah,
was again, they, they were working. It wasn't you do your own thing type stuff.
yeah, yeah,
And it wasn't a bad thing. It was it's a lot of times it's they didn't have the opportunity to go.
yeah. Yeah,
Um
I think that's a good way of wording it. They didn't get the opportunity, but because it's not like they could. Both my parents worked in L.A.
Well,
So like even if they got off at 5, they still had a 2-hour drive home, right?
yeah.
I mean, I know, Penny, you're still real close with your mom, right?
Oh, I'm definitely close with my mom.
And you always have been. And
Yes.
I know, I don't know if you watched our any of our other previous chats we've had with people, but I know James is still pretty close to his mom because she was out here and she got to stay with us, and that's about the most fun I've had in a long time. I forgot,
You
now
forgot
that
how stylish she is.
she's a shit talker, and I love his mom to death. Yeah, but that was something cool for me to be, as many nights as I spent over at his house, to be able to have his mom spend the night at my house as an adult was pretty cool.
Yeah, full circle moment there.
Yeah, but I know that you're still close with your family. My dad's been gone for years,
Yeah.
and I'm not as close with my mom, but I was never close with anybody. I was
Yeah.
never close. I'm still not close with anybody in my family. It's not that I don't like them. I love them all. It's just,
Well, we are reclusive. As much as you say I'm a outgoing person, I'm actually pretty reclusive myself. Like it wasn't until you actually, our connection is you send me, inappropriate reels all the time,
absolutely.
right? And then him and I are like bantering back and forth, and we're laughing and doing that stuff. And then he comes out of the blue. He goes, because I had shared with him honestly a year, like I was living here and I shared with him, I go, the shit talk you make and all the grumbling you do about shit, we should do a podcast, of capturing you and you and I having these conversations. And he's, yeah, okay. And he poo-pooed it. And then it's like, a year later, you're sending me reels. He goes, James, take a look at this reel. He goes, yeah, and people are telling me. I'm like, okay, let's go. And we just wrapped it up like that because I'm like, all you need to say is let's go. And I'm like, I'm all over it.
Now the thing is, though, Penny, is what he's talking about wasn't a year; it was like 3 years. But he wanted to videotape me,
Yeah.
being me, because I was unloading like a 3,000-pound machine by myself into my garage with
Because you don't ask for help.
no. I had bought myself a new I have a woodworking shop, and I have a mill, and I have an automotive repair shop. So
Yeah, I remember you talking about your mill before, about the woodworking shop and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, my wife and I had 12 to 14 giant pines here on our property when we bought it, and we hated them because pines don't belong in Middle Tennessee. They belong in East Tennessee. But and I grew up with pines at my grandmother's house in Prescott, Arizona, and the pine needles are a freaking bitch. They kill everything underneath. And anyway, so I had ideas of putting a shop in the backyard, and I needed to cut down a bunch of pines. So we cut down a bunch of pines, and I don't want to be wasteful, and I like woodworking, so why not go spend $10,000 on a fucking mill? So
Why
I
not?
I started milling it, and then I realized how much I missed building furniture. So I started building furniture, and I've got some furniture that I've built here in the house and off of trees that I cut down. So
Yeah.
it's been pretty cool. And
Yeah.
then I've got the automotive shop in the back that is just killing me. I need
Why
air,
is it killing you?
I need air conditioning. I
Oh,
wired it. I did everything myself. I mean, it's 30 by 40 with 16-foot high ceilings, and I let them do the outside of the building and the concrete, and then I did everything else. I wired it, and I literally milled the lumber that makes up the walls and
Yeah.
insulated it. It's a lot. I have a full-time job too.
Yeah.
So I have to keep myself busy. If I don't keep myself busy, I will end up in jail. So
Yeah.
I stay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what do you wish you knew more about as a parent, like before you became a parent? What do you wish you knew earlier that you feel would have helped you with the parenting?
To put bars on the windows.
Yeah, two young girls.
Two young girls, yeah.
The
Yep.
sneaking out.
Yep. Yep. We had a wood fence on the side of the house, and stupid me, I changed it into a block wall to make it more secure, which made it easier to climb out the window and go down the wall, down the wall.
That's funny. Oh, that's funny. So
So
now,
yeah,
so obviously putting bars in the windows, yeah, that'd be one solution.
Locking your daughter
um
out.
for my daughters. But being a parent, I think maybe being a little softer, being a little more understanding. I'm
Less,
doing it
less,
different
less
this time.
authoritarian. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've done it different this time with Liam. I've let Eric be more of a lead, and he's softer than I am in
Yeah.
regards to how things go. And I see that it works,
Hmm.
but that's not what I knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying I was a tyrant with my kids and stuff like that, but I
Yeah.
think I would have been a little more lenient in certain things and not been so
Well, I think
strict.
we were all probably a little gentler than our parents were. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, oh yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But
So,
I think I wouldn't have been.
yeah,
I think it's a strict part. I think it's a strict part. I was real strict, which I think made them run off more.
yeah, yeah. The more you want something to not happen, it the more
And
likely.
it happens.
Yeah, yeah. I'm proud of myself in that regard because I mean, not so much with my first kid because I was still learning, but I actually had to change because I somewhere with between my first kid and my last kid. My first kid, I didn't do a lot. I didn't transition well from because when you have them young, everything's like I remember all my conversations went before I had my kids were face to face.
Hmm.
As soon as I had my first kid, I know everybody that I spoke to was speaking to the back of my head or the side of my head because I was just laser focused on where my kid was. And you get into that protective mode and I'm guiding everything and I'm wanting everything to go a certain way. You're wanting to protect them. And I never effectively transitioned. I can explain it now because I went through the psychology courses and all that stuff. And they say that, and moms have a very particular difficult issue with this because they don't transition out of being mom early enough, right?
No.
And I didn't transition from being dad early enough where I was guiding and telling him and giving him advice. And so my first child, I think, rebelled more than my other ones did, who I spent more time talking with. And and asking probing questions. Well, why do you want to do that? What do you think will happen if that happens, right? If you make that choice? I'm not saying where to go, but if you do this or you do this, these are possibly the consequences. And I transitioned to helping them think through stuff more rather than telling them what I thought they should be doing, right? And here's what to think, if that makes sense. I think that
No,
was
it
a
makes
transition.
sense. It makes sense what you're saying, and I don't know if I did that so much. I did talk to my girls. I mean,
Yeah,
we had an open conversation link to where they could talk to me. And I
yeah,
mean, I used high school as, in one decision that I made, because I didn't drink in high school. I was
yeah,
the designated driver
yeah,
for everybody. So, I'd go to the parties and stuff. I just didn't drink and tried to put as many people in my little car as I could to take them home. But I
yeah,
used to get in trouble for that because I wouldn't get home on time for curfew. So I'd have to
yeah,
fix so I'd have to make it up. Well, I told my girls, I'm not stupid. You're gonna go to parties. Because number one, I didn't tell my parents I went to the parties.
yeah,
You gotta remember my dad was a cop. So
yeah.
Oh, I
so
remember.
yeah, you remember. But so I had real weird rules that I was supposed to follow, but I went to the parties anyway. But I told my girls, go to a party, that whatever, you're going to do it. If you drink, you're going to do it. But if you need a ride home, you call me. I don't care what time it is. You call me and I'll come get you. No questions asked. There'll be no lecture. There'll
Yeah,
be nothing unless you puke in my car and then you clean it up. But other than that, and they used that on multiple occasions. They used it even when they were older. Hey,
yeah,
mom, I drank too much. I need to get home. Come get me. And there was no questions asked. There was none of that. So I always picked, that was something I did that my mom and dad never offered me. It was always, you will not, you will not, you will not. So
yeah,
I did, my experience in high school changed that for my children.
yeah,
And so now, and I'll do the same for Liam. And I've already told him because he just started high school. I'm all, dude, I know you're going to do this stuff. I stay up until you get home. If you need a ride, you call me. Do not get in a car with somebody that's drank,
yeah,
I will come get you, no questions asked. And that I think was one of the most, when they did it after that, I know they would. So I felt more at peace when they were gone.
yeah,
Well, that's huge though, Penny. That's not easy to do. That couldn't have been easy for you to do. But
Yeah.
that's huge overall, and that's something that's gonna. I'm sure it's gonna stick with them forever.
Oh, yeah. Because my daughter went to a bridal shower or a bridal shower or something, and she drank too much and she called me. She goes, Mom, I need a ride. And I'm like, okay, where are you? I'm on my way. So, I mean, they still do it to this day because they know mom, I'll drop everything and go.
Ah, say totally
uh, I don't know. I don't drink as much. I still to this day, and I said that
much.
I still have drank less after 21 than I have the entire time I was before 21.
Well, because it was,
I drank so much in high school until I was 21. And then, I had the opposite experience because I never designated drove. The first
yeah,
time I did, I think I was around 22 or 23, and we went to Midnight Bowl off of was it Van Buren? Which one's that? I forget which bowling alley it is, but it's right there off of one of the major streets, like Central or something like that. And I took all my buddies to go to Midnight Bowl from Notre Dame, and I drove there with them. And it was the first time I experienced my friends drunk off their asses. And I was like, this is where we at, right? And I actually almost went cold turkey on drinking after that, and I just stopped.
So I never
Yeah.
was sober.
I just totally stopped drinking. I stopped partying like I used to, and I'm like, I don't want to be that.
I spent freaking 20-something years in Vegas. There's no way I was going to stop it.
Yeah. I mean, I was still drinking, but it turned into drinking with family and friends. I mean, I got into a fight at Bullmouth at UCR. I know Bullmouth is crazy.
You're not a male.
There's a reason why
in Riverside.
it was a reason why it was shut down.
You didn't get locked up by the Riverside Police Department.
Yeah. I do all my community service at the fire department down there for
It
getting arrested.
saved you.
Yeah.
How did you get away with that? How come
See,
I
I
didn't?
didn't. I can't say I never drank because I did. I have drank. I did drink, but
Yeah.
no,
Not
it
like that,
wasn't.
right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Kenny, I don't remember you drinking socially though.
Well, you
No,
had
I
been to Barry
didn't.
Branniger's parties, hadn't you?
I had been, but I still didn't drink. I just it wasn't. It was. I guess
Yeah.
that fear from my
It was
parents.
well, I think it was up and Barry can correct me. I believe sometime between my freshman year and sophomore year, or maybe it was a sophomore to junior year. Um, we just remember going to a. I remember going to a party with my buddy, and we looked at what was being done at the party, and there was like the party tricks, right? You put people's hands in warm water, and you're shaving cream, and people's eyebrows getting cut off, and
See, we were doing that with Lance
yeah, and
back in the
and you're looking at this stuff, and you're going, I do not want to be that. That's not going to happen to me. I'm going to be able to sit down at the table, play 3-man or play, quarters or whatever it is, and I'm going to survive the night and not. And so him and I went down to the Salton Sea,
too much of a thinker.
and we bought as much alcohol as we could, and we were pounding and pounding over that summer. We came back, and we could go to a party, and I could literally drink close to a case of beer, and I was still just in a zone without getting sick, without just be, and we'd be up all night and just had that tolerance. And I mean, we survived. There was very few times, other than the time I drank half a bottle of tequila, and I just guzzled some tequila. And I think Alan probably can tell you that story, because I showed up at a party, and they were changing the remote on the TV or something, and as I was pointing at it, it messed me up, and I don't remember a lot of that, but people were making fun of me for quite a while. But that was I think
That was for other things.
that was for other things, yeah. No, but that's the worst I ever got drunk. But and then after that, I get into my 20s, I just stopped. Just stopped. I just didn't drink as much. The only time I drank was with around family and friends, and it was poker nights, and you have a few beers, and that was it. But still to this day, I can still drink 4 or 5 beers and not feel much of anything. I just think I permanently damaged brain cells forever.
Yeah, no, I can't say I've drank enough that I gotten sick and I've done stupid stuff, but I did that when I was older, when I didn't live at home anymore.
Yeah, porcelain goddess kind of stuff.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So, so your kids, you're proud of your kids. You've done well with them. Just a little bit about, well, and I don't want to dictate just a little bit, but what is the difference? Because for those that aren't parents yet, because there's a few of us in Gen X that aren't quite grandparents yet. What is it like for you being a grandparent versus being a parent?
Oh, it's a blast. I mean, grandma gets to get away with everything. Grandma says,
Right.
"You want your binky." Mom's trying to take the binky away from the youngest. My youngest is trying to take it away from one of my granddaughters. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Where's your binky? Where's your binky?" She's like, "Mom, quit it. I'm trying to
Yeah.
take it away from her." And so then the baby's all yelling, "Binky, binky, binky." I can get away with crap like that. Um, Another one was the other day. My daughter calls me and she's in the car and she has me on the speaker, on the car itself. And
Yeah.
the girls are like, "I want Starbucks, Mom." She's like, "No, we're not going to Starbucks today." I go, "Oh, what do you guys want from Starbucks? Grandma will pay for it."
Yeah.
So then my daughter had to turn around. I Zelled her some money. She had to turn around, go all the way back to Starbucks, because if grandma said that, they would have razzed her, knowing that grandma said she'd pay for it.
Yeah. You took all the arguments away.
Yeah,
Right?
I took it away. There was no argument. Just go back into it, girl. And my son-in-law, because I sell to him, he called her and goes, "Why did your mom just sell me some money?" And she's like, "Because she told the girls they could have Starbucks."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's things like that. But it's also fun to see the mini kids, seeing
Yeah.
my children in these little ones.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
also gaining more children. I gained 2 sons, 2 more
Yeah.
sons by getting son-in-laws.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm really close to one of them. The other one I'm close to as well, but one of them more than the other.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's
So
kind of
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting. So, what do you want your grandchildren, like if you could talk to your grandchildren in the future when they get cognitive or they get old enough where they can watch this video without all the cussing, what would you want to say to your grandkids?
Um, that live your life to your fullest. If you have a dream to do something, do it.
Yeah,
Don't make regrets, don't regret not trying it. Because you will.
yeah,
Go and my regret is I should have stuck with going to law school and done it in the beginning when I started.
yeah, yeah,
Because now it's going to cost me twice as much to do it.
you know, yeah. The
um,
desire's
but
there, so might as well get it.
Do you see yourself doing that?
oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
oh yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
oh yeah. And my husband and I are talking about how to finance it right now.
Yeah,
God,
that's cool. That's
they
cool.
keep. I've been hearing that for the last 10 years at work.
What?
The corporation, the automotive corporation, trying to get me to go back and we'll get your degree and we can put you. Fuck you.
You didn't
My
like school to
degree is
start with. Like you're going to go back to school.
yeah, exactly. I didn't go the first time. I swear. Well, what I tell them is I literally was in a meeting with some VPs about a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And one of the VPs, we had to get like special clearance for our badges to get
Yeah.
up to the 10th
Yeah.
floor. And that was the thing that they asked me is, hey, you've got a great background. You've got a lot of knowledge. You've had a lot of management experience. Why aren't you going for management? Because I don't have my degree. Well, why don't you finish your degree? Because I'm too fucking old.
You're
There's no
not too
ROI.
old.
And that's
It's not
exactly
too old. It's more you have no desire.
there's no the ROI. You want to put it in corporate speak?
Yeah.
I am not right now. I make a very comfortable living, and if I got my degree, and that's exactly what I told them, you couldn't pay me to stay here because I'm gonna need way more than I'm already making, and
If they
Or,
paid
you know-
for it, that would be one thing.
they'll pay me back for it. You know what?
No.
You know the good thing about college? The girls.
Well, you can go for that.
Jesus.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I some of the, but see, and the other thing for me is like some of the dumbest people I know have their degrees. And some of the,
Just because you have a degree does not mean you have some lick of sense.
I am, and I've been working in the university system since 2008. I started at California Baptist University. And what I found was, because I didn't have a degree at the time, when I started there, no degree, no nothing. It was only based on that I had this skill set in education and technology. And they brought me in. It was a unique opportunity. And when I entered that field, it was like I was saying common sense things. Like in my mind, like if I sat around with a group of guys from Rubidoux that had worked on engines or did this, or all the blue collar guys I know, and I would say, well, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And they're like, yeah, that's the fucking only way you do it. What do you do? It's the exact same solution they would come up with. And it just made common sense. And it was like I was reinventing the wheel to some of these people that had these degrees. And I would be brought into CEOs and to these people that have their college, the president. I'm explaining this stuff, and they're going, "Oh, wow, yeah," and they're all amazed. And I'm like, "What the hell? How is it that these are not like
There's a mixture that's good, but the world's not ready for it.
Yeah.
I have a young lady that I've been training for the last year and a half, who she has her degree,
Yeah,
but she also kind of grew up working in dealerships,
Yeah.
working in service department dealerships. So she has both, but they're not ready for that.
Yeah.
The corporate world is not ready for, hey, yes, I have my degree, but I also have the experience over here
yeah,
that you've never had. And that's amazing is I work in a major auto manufacturer, and the amount of people in the building, I'll bet you less than 1% have ever worked for a dealership. And how can you know your customers and what your customers need, what happens in a regular customer experience? You're wanting to sell new cars and you're bitching, and that's all we hear about is how we're not selling cars and how we need to do this differently. No, we need to shut the fuck up and learn how it's actually done and what people want, but they're afraid to hear that. And I think it's that way everywhere. That we just don't have enough people that have actually been in the industry that they're looking at and have the degree that helps them. I mean, yeah, I didn't learn I'm a freaking administrator.
Yeah, but there's
in a
nothing.
computer system.
There's nothing in. This is my. There's nothing in college that I learned that I couldn't just get out of a book from reading it.
Well,
Right, and
you're
there's
gonna get
nothing.
better using something.
Well, but it's practice and talking about it, right? Is what I've noticed, and there's nothing that I learned that I don't like. I learned so much from just the reading and going through the stuff, and I learned way more just talking to my dad and sitting with the book and talking about stuff and working through philosophy courses. It was, for me, when I went back to college, it was a curiosity. I did not have any plans to use it. I went back and I said, you know what? I'm fucked up in the head. I'm going to take psychology. I'm going to go through and I'm going to learn what the hell's going on with my head. And I'm just interested.
You ain't got no fucking
Right?
time.
And I ended up earning my master's in counseling psychology. I had
And you
partially,
still don't know what
I still don't know what's going on. But the stuff that I did go through for, I'm looking at it, I go, I could have learned all this on the job while I was going through it, and the books, the reading, and just on my own.
Penny, with your
Yeah.
with your background and what you're currently doing with education, I've always thought education was great. I would choke kids if so I couldn't be an educator, but it seems like kids from kindergarten through 5th grade are like, that's the prime, because most of them actually want to learn. No? Well, they're
Up to third, maybe fourth, third or fourth.
See, I didn't want to learn in kindergarten, but I was just trying to give kids a freaking break.
I can see
No,
Todd being
by
one
fifth and sixth
school that
grade,
was like,
in fifth and sixth grade, you have some that still want to learn, but they're at that age now. They're more mature, where because of all the YouTube and the social media that they're into, they're tuned out.
yeah.
The fifth and sixth grade costumes, I will not sub in. I do not like
No,
going in them.
I had a Father D. Pasquale once told me that he asked about how I remember going up to him and asking him about us at our age and what he thought of us. And he said, well, here's the thing. Between God takes away the souls of kids between 5th and 7th grade or 8th grade. He takes their souls away so that they don't get so they don't get tarnished, and he gives them back sometime after they're 18.
I still haven't gotten mine back.
I'm telling you, that's so true. I'm telling you, I agree with him. That is a great way to put it. They're soulless.
See,
They
mentally,
are.
I've never gotten past 12 mentally, so I haven't gotten my soul.
That's right.
I'm fine with that. I hope I never get
We're gonna exercise you, my son.
Yeah.
Well, here's something, guys. They're putting kids into elementary school at 3 years old now.
Yeah, but that's
Yes,
just parents.
that
amount of pay.
is
crazy.
just nuts.
Now,
They have what's called transitional kindergarten, and they
I
just
don't like
changed
the word
last.
transitional. It's
Yeah.
kind of too many fucking things.
Yeah,
Yes, I know, bud, but that's what it's called. TK. We'll call it TK. They have TK, and they're allowing 3-year-olds to go into it now.
That's terrible.
And we're talking, some of them, if they're in diapers, they can still come.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's the talk. That's just not. I think it's too young.
Republic, though, too. You're in the People's Republic. Is that everywhere in the country? Republic.
I'm in California, where right now we don't have any 3-year-olds at our school.
Okay.
They're all 4.
Now I want to tap into mom mode here.
Okay.
Your son, you said he just started as a freshman.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ, I would take that back.
Freshman in high school.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that back if I had to. I was fucking lost.
That was a zit-infested horror show.
How do they handle the social media, the phones? Do they allow them to have phones?
Yes. I mean, he has a phone for communication. he gets on a weekly at the school. They're allowed to use it during at the high school now. He's allowed to use it between transition times from class to class
I hate
and
that.
lunch.
I hate that. Because you know what that
I don't
does?
think they should have it at all.
I agree. Because you know what it's doing?
They should reinstall payphones.
Even if it's no, but even if he's allowed to use it in transition, like from class to class, what the hell did we used to call it? Break, right? Where
Yeah.
you break between classes. You know what that's doing? That's shoving a face into a phone that should be shoved in front of their friends.
Yeah.
And saying it at you're stopping them from building social skills.
Well, you had
The same thing. I get in arguments like I'm a fucking 5-year-old out here because I scream at people's parents for driving their fucking high school kids to school. And we have buses literally that pick you. We're out in the country, so the bus literally picks your children up at your fucking door. Well, for me, my front yard's huge, but they stop at your mailbox and pick your child up every day.
Well,
And if somebody's next door, they stop at their mailbox and pick that child up.
What the hell? What happened to bus
some of our
stops?
greatest adventures were walking down Riverside. I don't remember where you lived in. Where did you live in Riverside?
I lived over by Vaughn's. I lived over by Horseshoe Lake and stuff.
By where?
By Vaughn's. Remember where Vaughn's was?
Yeah.
Where Caro's and stuff. I lived over that way.
Oh yeah. So over by Jamie and James Hewitt. James
Yeah.
Hewitt was in that same area. Okay.
Yeah,
so
we lived right by each other. Yeah.
I remember. I mean, those are some of the greatest adventures when you stay the night and we go down Riverview Drive and walk to school.
I'm talking within the school time frame.
I'm just thinking,
your ass.
you know, I just think when even during high school, like some of those times when you're walking to high, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of, I mean, I probably should have done it more. We dropped our kids off. They were always shuttled back and forth
I
to
made
school.
my fucking kid walk.
I should have done more of it.
My kid, I guarantee if I'm ever hooked up to a machine, my kid will be the first fucker pulling. He will rush to the hospital. I can be in a different country and he'll fly there.
He'll fly there. I'll
Just to unplug you.
I don't know. I want it to be unplugged as fast as possible. Trust me. If I go tomorrow, unplug me. 10 minutes in, unplug me.
Yeah.
My oldest daughter's an RN, so she'd be there. She has no brain activity. She's gone.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the argument, though. There's the argument whether I ever had brain activity. You know, Finny, with my little brother, his oldest daughter, Emily, is she just graduated medical school.
Oh, wow.
She's gonna be a what are the people that get drugs? Not pharmacists, the ones that put you out in the hospital.
And anesthesiologists.
Yes, and she just got married last year. I was in California for the first time in 20-something years for a very short time frame. So, and that was planned. He's going to be I think a brain surgeon. He's going to be a surgeon, but I mean, those kids they've got their shit together to a point where it's scary because I couldn't imagine having my shit together now that well. And these kids are, you know, they just graduated college. I mean, I still don't have my shit together and I'm 57 years old. I love it for them. She's always been brilliant. And the kid she's marrying, what a good kid. It's just crazy for me to see young people now, and I'm still anti fucking spending your life on social media as James is fucking typing in social media. But it's obviously helping because there's some smart kids out there coming out there. And my son fucked up with he was too smart for his own good, and I kept him in Vegas too long. And Vegas is like, you know, Vegas in the 90s was early 90s and the late 90s was like California was when we were there, where they just wanted to, you know, they were growing so fast they wanted to shove everybody through.
Mm-hmm.
And my son should have been pushed a few grades ahead so he'd get bored. And
yeah,
it didn't. I moved him out here his senior year, and he was like ready to kill me, of course, because I moved him out here his senior year. But it opened something up in him where it challenged him, and they were, these small schools challenge you. There's not 3,000 kids in one classroom trying to get the attention of one adult. So,
Yeah.
I think there's got to be a good medium somewhere. I mean, somewhere from the Little House on the Prairie days to now. There's got to be a better way.
I agree with you. Liam does he during the week he has an hour of electronics time a day. On the weekends, from whatever time he gets up till noon.
I
And
love
then
that
it's
you guys are doing that. That is awesome.
his brain needs to be somewhere else. It needs to be outside riding that damn bike. It needs to be building something, something electronic, doing some STEM work of some sort.
I think that's why my kids grew up the way I look at my kids and I see a lot of Gen X in them. If not, my oldest is 30, 31 now. And, I run the two spans. I have two millennials, I believe, and one Gen Z, right? And my Gen Z daughter is probably the most conservative of the whole group, right?
She's scary. Reminds me of your sisters.
Yeah,
in looks and
she's
mannerisms, and she's got that.
I was fortunate. I don't know how it occurred, but I didn't like the stuff I hear about millennials and Gen Z. I don't see in my own kids. And it wasn't anything. We did a little bit of the helicopter parenting, but there was also something that I did that I think was good, and it's because they grew up around Julie's kids and they grew up around their cousins. They spent time outside. They spent time out doing things and screwing around and cutting fingers, and we shot them with airsoft gut pellets, and I wrestled with them, and I didn't treat them gently. So even though they had aspects of that where the millennial, entitlement kind of came in a little bit, but, they just didn't know who they were in their early, as they were transitioning out of high school. But, and I think there's a little bit of delay, but I was fortunate in that. So I don't think a generation can be tied to a specific.
Oh, definitely.
I think that they just run a gamut across that board.
Penny, I'm sorry if the shading, my house faces east, so it's
no, you're fine. You're fine
here, and this is our little pop-out window in the kitchen. So in the backyard.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
It's shaded out with two fucking FBI informants.
But when we're closer,
you're fine. You're fine.
In the Muppets balcony.
Yeah. So on the night of October.
Well, let me tell you something funny. My girls, I always gave in and we listened to their music in the car.
Yeah.
I didn't do that with Liam. He listens to the 80s music with me. So when he goes to bed at night, he turns on K-Earth and listens to 80s music and
K-Earth.
K-Earth.
Yeah. Yes, K-Earth plays 70s and 80s and 90s music now.
It would be all my mom's crap back in the day.
Well, guess what? It's all our music now.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I remember my nephews.
Thanks for making me feel old.
Yeah, my nephews and my
You're
son,
welcome,
I remember in high school, they came in and they go, Uncle Jim, listen to this. And they throw it on and it's Poison, Every Rose. And I'm looking at him. He goes, this is so badass. So he goes, do you know this one? And I'm like, what? The hell? And then she's Metallica, and she's this, and can you know this? And I'm like, yeah, I know every word of that stuff, man. Those guys were fucking makeup and long hair.
Yeah. Penny, something that I wanted to jump in here, and something that's come up with every single person that's been on here. Well, you're the third, so
yeah.
Fourth now.
First team,
and the first three that have come up, the guys, we've all kind of talked about the one thing that we all wish we would have had when we were younger. And one of the things that, and I think Tom said it, and then everybody else has kind of followed in and said, yeah, definitely, is a male role model that is older than you that's not your parent. So I don't know if that can help your son any. Um, I don't have any
Someone that's
any
not your dad.
but and the reason is, and it's not it's mainly for the shit you can ask another guy that has been through enough of life to know, yeah, you know what, that's probably not the fucking way to go. Or, hey, you know, I got this girl that likes me, but I'm a fucking moron and I have no clue how to talk to her. So what
That's
can I
funny. He
do?
asks me all those questions.
And you know what? They're it's great that he can ask you those things, but at points he's gonna need somebody. And
Right. He has
for
his dad,
for
but
but for dad,
another role model person, I don't know who he'd ask.
and that's the toughest thing is because a, a dad,
Well, let me explain it just a
things
little
that you're
bit
not
because
gonna ask.
Ted just got on and we were just talking about this. And we talked about regrets in high school, right? And he's talking through this stuff. And he comes up and he says he had an experience where he was told he wasn't good enough to play in football, right? And it was
Freshman year.
Yeah, his freshman year. It was devastating to him, right? And it stuck with him his whole life. And it ended up him transitioning and turning it into motivation.
Good word again.
What transition? Yeah.
Sorry.
So, but he used it as motivation to complete a career to be successful in the Marine Corps,
Which is still not.
which is still badass, right? And
Oh, yeah.
right, and physical and all that stuff. But being told early on, and that's the kind of thing is like if I had someone at that time that I was able to communicate with in that way, because it happened for him later on in life, and it was stuff that he just didn't know as a man. And we talked about the way men talk to each other, right? And
Right.
I'm always saying this: it's not a male female commentary and trying to make females feel bad. It's that I grew up with sisters. And even the first time I met Todd, who had a brother and I didn't, and dealing with him and the way that he interacts with things, I mentioned all the time. It's not a dig on Todd, but when I first met him, I'm like, fuck, this guy's going to kill me. Right? He hates me. Right? Because he's constantly teasing and doing this stuff and that stuff. And I didn't understand it because I didn't grow up around another male except my dad. And I'm not
Yeah.
going to go to my dad and be all sensitive and ask him what's going on. And I'm just dealing with this stuff. And it took me a while to start understanding Todd at his deepest level that he really does care and that he'd have your back. And I watch these videos and it's like, yeah, we give each other shit. It's the way we talk. We can zone out on something and not think, and we understand what's going in our minds the way that a female or others can't. And also a way that I don't know if I would have been good at explaining that to my own son, right?
I know I wasn't.
I wouldn't be able to explain it to my own son. So you need another male that will, like, some of my closest friends were someone that I got in a fist fight with, right? At one point, we talked about Bill and I, like we were at odds with each other, and we become best friends. So that explaining that dynamic to your son or something else only comes from peers and people that we can look up to that can explain it in a way.
And maybe your brother can do that.
Yeah, he could. He probably could. Yeah, and Liam is so shy, though. I don't know if he would talk to him.
But you know what? Maybe he needs somebody.
That's exactly what Ted was talking about. Yeah. That's what I was talking about. We go through this shit,
but he will. That's the thing. He just needs a little comfort with the person, and it's a trust. Once he realizes, okay, you don't have any ulterior motive of running to my mom, running to my dad, or telling anyone else. You're here just to be a sounding board because you've been through it. And I guarantee I would be I've never met your husband. I've never seen your son. I would be happy to do it, but I honestly think there's probably people in your life that would help you with that. But if that's part of our thing that we wanted to do is we wanted to be able to help anybody we can, because
just from our own life experience as males,
the shit that goes on mentally, and my wife gave James shit because you're not getting the female's perspective, and it's perfect that you came on today, because we do want that. We do want, as much as you're willing to share your internal, hey, this is wearing me down. And if you don't feel like sharing that now, you want to share it on a phone.
Well, there's also something there's something to say with, because men have, I mean, me in high school had a totally different experience from you as a female in high school, even though we shared the same kind of, outgoing personalities and connecting with people and doing that stuff. My insecurities and my hardships in high school had to deal with me as a male interacting with other males and females from a male perspective, right?
But girls are evil. Girls are evil.
Well, hold on. What you say?
Girls are evil.
Okay. Yeah. But the problem is you're also 5 years ahead of us mentally.
True. But see, we're very judgmental from the start. We can judge a person by their looks and whatever their first impression. And a lot of times we won't change our mind.
Yeah.
I don't know about guys if they do that or not.
No, I think guys are like, I think guys are
we're too fucking
well, and it's appropriate. It's guys, like, if you take it down to animals, you got the dogs and they're wagging their tails. They want sex. They want to do as much as they can get away with. They're digging holes everywhere. They're playing with a ball. There's not a lot of deep thinking going on a lot of that stuff. And it's very surface. And even when we do deep think, we're not sharing that with our buddies because we know, what the fuck? I mean,
we don't know anything.
Well, at that time we don't, because we're going to, the love we show for each other is we give each other shit. And I think it was really,
and we don't know how to talk to girls.
Yeah, we don't know how to
act like it.
Yeah,
we can act like we know what we're doing.
But that's
just acting.
Yeah, but the big thing for us is that we like we're gonna give each other shit. We're gonna call each other names. Our emotional connections are gonna be tied to that. If you ever go down and to be in the club, you have to be able to take the shit talking. And we already know who we can identify as part of the group. Just are you going to be a fucking pussy and you're going to cry because I called you a name, and you're going to get all complaining and you're going to get all upset and you're going to cause all this drama? Right. Oh, Todd thinks about me this way. What does he really think? Is he think that I'm pretty, or does he think that I'm tough, or this or that? No, we're going to talk shit to each other. And if you can take it, then you're in. And if you can give back as much as we give, then you're in that group. And we don't think about it much. Even when we both like the same girl, right? Like, okay, then we'll fucking fight over it, and the winner takes all, right? And
realistically, it's fucking stupid because the girl's gonna decide.
Exactly.
But we're killing each other because we don't know any fucking better.
Yeah. And then on the other side, though, then when we're talking, and so it's interesting because from your perspective, that's something we didn't have in high school. Because there's girls that I liked, and I would always go to girls for advice, but it's probably the worst possible thing I could have done.
Because because you're going to go to someone who may like you, and they're going to tell you the worst things they can about that person. And if they've gone to, but not all girls are that way. I'm just saying in general, I know just even by raising girls can be mean. They don't make the movie Mean Girls for nothing.
Yeah. Did you have friends in high school that you could talk to about stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I did. Mary Jane and I were very close.
Yeah,
we had people,
and my friend Gina and I were friends.
Oh, yeah, I would have never got like what's the kind of stuff that you and Mary talked about?
Oh, sorry, girl code, can't tell you.
No. I mean, no. In general,
but we would talk about boys. We would talk about family issues. We would talk about our insecurities and stuff like that. We could talk about anything to each other because we were comfortable enough, and there was no competition.
Yeah, light years ahead of us.
Yeah,
and it wasn't about competition. It was about mental ego.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I could. I mean, our talks about.
I think I'm a freaking
if it was any talking about parents, it would be like, my dad did this, or it would be bitching about something. But then it's like, and we would relate. There wasn't any advice that came out of it. It wasn't, I'm sad about it, or it's doing all this stuff. Right? What's sad, right? It's either you're angry and pissed off, or let's fucking just forget it and drink or do whatever to forget about it, or go out and take our anger out on weights or the competition, or what's the next activity we can do. Like, how can we get ourselves in trouble? Dig a hole, pipe bomb something.
I think that's the biggest thing, Penny, is girls/women, because I can say that for now even. Is you guys seriously think we have a lot more intelligent, like,
I don't think it's
not
intelligence,
intelligence,
emotional intelligence.
emotional intelligence, yes, than we do, and we ever have.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
there. It's not because we don't want to have it. It's we have no fucking clue. We don't know. We don't know.
I think what I've noticed over the years, though, and I didn't realize this till much later, like, it's been,
Transition.
well, not, yeah, I think it's very easy to for women to manipulate men.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I just
Oh
think
yeah.
it's super easy.
I'm honest with you. Yeah, we do. We know what your weak points are, and we
Yeah.
know how to go to those weak points to manipulate it to move it to what we want.
And when we all share the same 7 weak points, it's pretty fucking easy to figure out, isn't it?
Well, I think this segment's going to, but I think this is really interesting because we should have that conversation and broaden it out, because I would love to get a group of Gen X women together.
But you know what? I like the one-on-one because
No, I do.
she can't fucking use that shit against us when it's her. She's gonna get us pretty straight. She's not gonna like wink to her buddy.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
okay.
Let's go from let's explain manipulation to full on fuck you. Here's manipulation.
Yeah.
And you won't explain
That's
it
true.
before we
'Cause
tell
you get a group of us together, and that estrogen level just pops up a notch, and you guys
that
are
might be
screwed.
dangerous for us.
You guys would be
I learned
screwed.
Yeah, I've been through the world enough to know when I'm getting the shit kicked.
Yeah, Todd's not in on the group female
I'm not
discussion.
He's not going for that. Don't
Yeah.
go more than two. Don't go more than two.
If it's face to face, I'm good. You could put as many people there as you want. But
Yeah, that's funny.
I still have some
So let's
ability to sell myself.
let's transition a little bit again with transition.
I guarantee.
Let's segue.
Hold on. Let's mark the markers in here because
I said it a lot.
James, you may not make it out of there alive. You keep going with that word.
I'm going to go segue this time.
Within the next 3 years, James is going to be moving back to California, and he will be transitioning.
I'll take on
the
Jamie.
only Jamie in the family. Yeah.